We are recording.
Speeding.
We got Kevin Black in the house. What's up?
What's going on, man?
KB.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah. People call you that? KB?
I get KB every once in a while.
You get a KB.
Get a lot of Kev, KB, yeah.
KB 101 in the morning.
Yeah. My college radio program. Yeah, exactly.
All right, some announcements to make. I will be in Sheboygan on October 7th. I'm going to be ghost hunting with that team that I should have looked up. There's somebody's out there running the tour in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. That's going to be at the haunted Sheboygan Asylum. So there's going to be some ghosts out there that were once people who were mentally ill. So let's be PC. Yeah. Mm-hmm. October 8th. Big news. I will be at the Paranormal Conference. That is in Summit, Illinois. Just a little bit south of Chicago. Special thanks to Jack Chavez for inviting me to that. I'll have a little table out there. There's also going to be vendors with selling crystals and smudge sticks and all kinds of tarot and witchy type of stuff. So if you want to see me, you want to do the podcast, you want to be on the podcast, you want to do a session, come check me out. Also, shout out to my Buy Me a Coffee investors, Big Ron 76, Tadpole Tabitha from Nova Scotia, and 411 Rob.
We're international?
Yeah, I got Canadian listeners.
Hell
That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So, Kevin, how you doing today?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Thanks again for having me. I've been missing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is your therapy time.
This is
relaxation.
a weird way
time.
to say, because people come to Paracon and they try it, and that was the weirdest thing I've ever done. That psycho keeps going back.
Yeah, we got to do. At some point, we have to do like a live thing, like you, me, and John. We got to have like some kind of convention of ourselves. You know.
Absolutely.
We'll rent out a hall or something.
For sure.
You know. So, on the agenda today, we have a couple experiments I want to run. The first is the tennis ball experiment, where Kevin is going to sit in the chair, and I'm going to levitate the tennis ball.
This is now a magic podcast
it's
as
a
well.
Magic show. Not with magic, but with I have a tennis ball on a stick, so we'll see if he's able to psychically reach out and grab it. And that would be more of the sixth sense, as Lynn Buchanan puts it in his book, The Seventh Sense. So the sixth sense is your proximity warning, your ninja sense. It's like your spidey sense. So we'll see if Kevin can locate the tennis ball.
You just made me very excited. Because my life dream is to be Spider-Man.
You will be Spider-Man?
So if I find out I have a spider sense today, this would be the biggest success ever.
Yeah. So, well, technically everybody does, but we'll see what happens with that. Kevin,
What's up?
Do you remember the last time you were on the podcast?
Yes. Yeah, I do. Some of that has definitely stuck with me.
Yeah. Yeah, and the residuals from that are like, you said you weren't afraid of clowns anymore, or the fear has kind of dissipated a bit.
Yeah, I'm less creeped out by clowns now. That was kind of weird, just confronting those faces in that weird thing. And like, scrolling through social media, there'll always be posts that have like random clown faces or something. Or maybe it's just the internet haunting me specifically. I'm not sure yet.
Probably.
I realized as I was working through that sentence, I was like, yeah, as we all scroll through and see clowns all the time.
Yeah.
No, I think that fear has not gone away, but has sort of lessened after the last time. Yeah.
That's cool. And you say every time you do the Ganzfeld experiment, you come away with some mental clarity.
Yeah, it's sort of like, I think I made this analogy before, it's sort of like organizing a filing cabinet. Like there's a bunch of jumbled papers and sort of opens up and everything tucks neatly into place. I have no idea what any of the imagery has to do with what's jumbled up in my head, but it must help me shuffle through some papers at least.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. it's good to just jump in and just have like a session that is relaxing, and you can kind of just float through
Yeah.
space. Yeah.
Do you still kind of get that clarity afterwards, even though you're sort of the arbiter of the experience, or does that not affect it when you're in it?
I do.
Pretend this noise isn't recorded.
I don't know. I think sometimes it can when I go deep and I'm interacting with like entities and stuff, it can be a little bit of a shaky afterwards. But sometimes I do get that. I do get that clarity. I think mostly what I get after a session is more of this enhanced perception.
Yeah.
You know, my perception is like widened, and I'm like aware of things, and I'm like more self-aware too.
Yeah.
So, and also like, I find the more I do it and the more I experiment with psychedelics, I'm able to recall certain memories
Really?
as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
like actual like life, tangible memories, and not ones from the chair itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actual life memories. Yeah, like I'll and I'm able to, like, my short-term memory has improved.
Nice.
Like, you know, I'd probably say like a good 15% if I had to
That's awesome.
quantify it. But yeah, it has, because like before, you know, I would be like doing a task, and then if I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and then the thing I was thinking about is just like poof, gone. Nope, bye.
Okay.
Brain's like,
Yeah.
nah, we're not holding on to that. Fuck you.
You're just standing in the middle of a room. Why am I in here right now?
What's happening?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I've noticed that. And of course, like using psychedelics with meditation, that's also like helped to improve my short-term memory and recover like old memories that were kind of have faded away, you know.
No, this is me interviewing you now. What kind of meditation, or just like very basic sort of sit, calming music, or sit in silence, or sort of?
I do both. I do like the sit and calm, don't think about anything meditation, and also the transcendental, go very deep meditation, because I like to go on these journeys, which is also why I like the Ganzfeld experiment, you know. I like to go deep, you know.
We're going deep.
We're going deep today, boys. Yeah. But yeah, I do a little bit of both, and transcendental, and you know, I've gotten to some interesting places with that. You feel like your mind is no longer your enemy when you're
That's
doing
the
that.
best possible outcome. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Does it parallel to Ganzfeld itself? Like,
a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of similar.
Because that's
in
what
that way.
I've been saying, is where it's like I kind of find it meditative. So that's interesting that there might be some parallels there.
Yeah, I think it's similar. I think when you do meditate on your own, there's a lot more effort that you have to put into it. With Ganzfeld, there's really not much effort.
Yeah. Put the goggles on, put the headphones on,
Yeah.
find the tennis ball.
Find the tennis ball.
Find the tennis ball.
Yeah. So yeah, this is our fun little intro. This is episode 13. Oh, also, Kevin Black is our guest today. When he's not a guest on the Ganzfeld Files, where are you gonna be at? Where can we find you?
You can find me asleep often. No. Well, yes, kind of. You can usually find me trainer at a gym in Chicago. I won't say it. No free publicity. I'll only say Anchor on this podcast.
Anchor, yeah, and your other podcast that you.
I will happily plug that because you admitted to being a listener, so now I feel comfortable plugging that. Adventure Champs.
Yeah,
It is a D&D podcast that me and a few close friends run. You can find that pretty much anywhere podcasts are found.
Awesome. And this is you guys in your season 2 now?
We just finished our first huge story arc. We killed our original big bad. We finally made it there. And so now our DM, after planning out a campaign for 3 years, has very reasonably been like, let's take a little bit of time rather than jumping right back in. We may do some one-offs, may do some like short episode, like 3 or 4 episode campaigns, but
Awesome.
I'm excited to jump into a second series. Hopefully not 3 whole years, but another long one would be fun.
That's a long haul.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I also play D&D as well. So, and I prefer like the shorter campaigns now, the little one-offs. But yeah, so keeping the intro a little short because we got a couple experiments we want to get to today. So
one more thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What's up?
If you're ever around James and he's made anything with cheesecake, eat it immediately. It'll be the most delicious thing you've ever had in your life.
Yeah, Kato from episode 6. It was her birthday, so I made these little mini cheesecakes, which were really good.
Ridiculous. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I made the caramel from scratch and the chocolate and all that. So
That's stupid.
yeah,
But in like the good way.
we talked about selling cheesecakes, and I was like, I was thinking about it like seriously for a second there. Yeah,
Think longer. Don't take more than a second. That was delicious.
yeah. All proceeds will go to the podcast. So
Buy him a coffee.
there we go. Buy me a coffee. All right, y'all. We're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna jump into our experiments. Later.
Bye.
We're back. We just did a session with Kevin, and it was a pretty intense one. And I'm always afraid of like this kind of thing happening. You know,
I was not getting out of that fucking chair, man. Like my conscious self was like sort of fighting with myself that was like drifting into the Ganzfeld, if that's the way to phrase it.
right?
Because there were moments where stuff was happening and I could feel like part of me being like, dude, you can just get out of this. And then I was just like, no, I'm not leaving. I don't care how freaky this gets. I don't care how weird it gets.
Yeah. Well, let's do like a brief overview for
You're gonna need to help
context.
me. You're gonna.
So I'll go over the main points right now. So Kevin did a 16-minute session, which I recorded. It's on video. So in this session, you saw a handful of things, the usual stuff like weird imagery, but this time that we were accompanied by like some darker kind of spirits or.
Yeah, it's sort of like last time there was sort of like these fixed point sort of creepy faces, but it was more Halloween mask.
Mm-hmm.
This felt like it wasn't something wearing a mask. This felt just like these were their faces, and a lot of the times they were pointing their focus at me or coming towards me.
Right. So.
As my foot is excessively tapping.
Yeah, I know.
This is meditation for me, James. This is meditation for me.
we're both a little bit shaky from what just happened. So
You're sitting there watching me describe this.
Yeah,
I always forget that part.
yeah, yeah. I was there.
I was there, man.
I was there, man. Yeah. So I don't know where to begin.
It was a good one. It was a good one.
Yeah, it freaked me out too. Just watching to describe this stuff. So about, God, I want to say like 6 or 7 minutes in, that's when he started talking about like these dark kind of nasty, gross things. There was one like something that was like had a bat face.
Yeah. So
almost,
it was. This was probably the point where I was most like, maybe I need to get out of this thing right now. maybe it's time to go. But
yeah,
because so it was. At first, I just see kind of a face, and I maybe coming towards me, maybe a fixed point sort of thing, and it does. I don't know if there's like a shape I could allude it to. Like it has the shape of a human head, or like a shape of a head, because not all heads are shaped the same. So there's not like a
humanoid.
Yeah, humanoid head. Yes, kind of.
Kind of.
And then it had these sort of like long, almost like if you took a triangle and then sort of like bent one of the corners and it kind of curled up, if that makes sense. Pitch black, large mouth with just like spikes for teeth, like stalagmites, just sort of up and down the mouth.
Right.
And it was open, but it wasn't opening its mouth. It was just showing its teeth. Mm-hmm. And then as I kind of was gaining perspective on it, I realized, it looked like it had wings, and it looked like it was coming towards me.
Right.
And I was very passive in that moment. I was sort of frozen. I'm realizing now, thinking back, there were a lot of times where I was just sitting still with my hands up.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't even cognizant of it until this moment, now that I'm realizing it. Like, I was like, okay, so there's a face coming at me, and it has wings, and it has I feel like I would like freeze up and just be staring at this thing coming at me.
So you were able to look at it.
Yeah,
Usually like images like dissolve as soon as you focus your attention on it.
yes, this was one where like the face sort of started coming in, so I was able to figure out what that was, and then as it sort of started coming in, it sort of seemed like it had wings,
Yeah.
and so yep, I was able to observe it. Like I was frozen in place, but I fully confidently say like if I had turned my head, the face would still be coming at me, and I would have seen a wing. Like I was fully aware of this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was that the only one that was like a dark, scary entity, or there was there was like a lot
There
more?
was so many.
Oh
There
my
was so
God.
many. I wasn't like. I hopefully you got some good clips of it because there was a lot of times where I would just be like frozen or sort of like trying to figure out how do I describe this sort of almost werewolf evil Chewbacca face that's
Oh my
like
God.
seems like it's like right underneath my chin. It sort of like opens its eyes and is staring up at me, and then there's like disfigured sort of faces staring at me and slowly fading in. It just seemed like, I guess at the 6-minute mark, I wasn't sure what the time was.
Yeah.
It sort of became like a ton of open space that would slowly be filled in by scary faces, to put it in the most basic terms. And they all would have gnarled teeth or very piercing eyes and like weirdly figured heads. It was almost like, you remember, was it Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark?
Yeah.
You know, like the faces from those books?
Oh my
A
God.
lot
yeah.
of similar imagery to that with a lot of the faces. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's aggressive.
Yeah, man. There was just a few times in there where I was just like, there's 3 ways this ends. I just stop now. I have an anxiety attack, and that's great footage for the TikTok. Or I just sit here and I'm just like, yeah, all right, cool. I'm good.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of times where conscious self would come back in, and I'd be like, sit down, breathe. You're okay.
Right. I mean, anytime that you're doing this, you feel uncomfortable, you can just end it. Like you can come out of it. Take the headphones off.
Yeah.
Break the cycle.
Oh, if this was my first time, yeah. James, our friendship's over. You'd never see me again. I'd be gone for good.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Just one person sits down and has that experience their first time.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I at least have had a decent baseline on it.
Yeah. So, you started describing these things, and I lit up the smudge stick, and I started saging the whole place. I played some like shamanic drumming
Oh, really?
sounds. Yeah. I was like, oh God, I gotta.
Just anything to clear the space out.
Yeah.
Or clean it up.
I gotta clean the space. So, and then he said there was like wolf imagery as well. There was like,
Yeah, that was sort of the Chewbacca, evil Chewbacca face I was trying to describe. That was one of
Right.
the ones that I could make out, as well as the bat thing coming at me, where it just seemed like this sort of large werewolfish face with, once again, like the very spiked, gnarling teeth and very intense eyes, and it just sort of looked like it was either like, maybe I thought it was fur because it had like the Stories to Tell in the Dark that has the very like loose drawings.
yeah.
There's sort of like lines kind of splayed out. So it might have been that. I don't know. But it was, yeah, it seemed like an evil Wookiee is like the only way to describe it. And it was like right up to my left side and sort of just like not facing me, but like peering at me to the side with like its mouth open and teeth and eyes looking at me.
Yeah. Now I feel bad because I
No,
don't
no, it
know,
was
like-
fascinating. It was
Yeah.
like coming out of it, like in the moment I was freaking out, but
Well, I mean, here's a personal question, and we can always edit this out if you don't want to
Perfect.
get into it. So just let me know. But let's say, do you think that this was an external thing, like this was a entity that existed, or was this a manifestation of your own personal thing, like your own demons?
I think to answer this candidly, and this was something I was worried about coming in today, because I've been dealing with a ton of anxiety lately,
Right.
and a ton of like Yeah, I've been just more than usual. Like, I'm usually a pretty anxious person, but like actually, like anxiety affecting me physically, sort of. So I was like, I'm curious to see if this brings anything out when I sit down. And
So that was on your mind before you did the session.
yeah, so that's, I kind of came like literally when you texted me like, hey, we're still good for today. I was just like, I'm wondering if because I've been much more anxious than usual lately, if this could manifest itself when I do this. And I think that may be the case.
That could have been, yeah. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Because usually it's like things will come in, whatever kind of intention you set, whether willingly or not, like that is what is going to guide the session.
Yeah.
You know, what kind of mindset you have into it. It's like set and setting for like psychedelics. You know, what kind of mindset you're bringing to it.
Yeah.
That's what you get. So, I mean, there could be a couple of, it could be your own stuff that you're dealing with, but it also could be like, if you're in that state of like high anxiety, there might be these things that kind of like can smell the blood in the water and like come at you and like, oh,
Honestly, yeah.
yeah.
Like, because I feel like last time, even though they weren't as scary or intense as these faces were, so
Yeah.
there were still like creepy figures in the last one, but I wasn't as regularly anxious as I was or as I am now back then. So
Right.
it could have been like, yeah, the blood in the water thing. That's definitely a good theory where it's sort of like, oh, he's not as secure right now. let's
it's like-
now's our chance.
Yeah, let's go and fuck
Yeah.
with them. Yeah.
Time to roll, boys.
Yeah. Whereas like last time there were scary faces like you said, but they were kind of like in the distance and would just kind of turn and look at
Passive, very
you.
passive.
Yeah, they're very passive. Whereas today is more like they're like I'm gonna come right up to your face and like get right next to you.
Yeah, which was interesting because I can kind of piece together the first few minutes where it's more like shapes and sort of things like that. But once it turned, it was pretty constant. From, I guess, the 6-minute point for the next 10 minutes, it was a lot of just like, there would be a few of them, some coming at me, some just really like being pointed towards me.
Yeah.
And then it would clear out, they would dissipate. And then I would see the couple in the distance, which we can talk about. But then it was like coming in waves almost, but it was quickly coming in waves for what I guess was 10 minutes. I thought I'd been there for like 30, 40 minutes. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, total session time was about 16 minutes.
I guess my internal clock even got messed up. I was just like,
of course, yeah.
because there was a part, as I was saying, I was like, do I need to get out of here? It was kind of ran through my brain a few times when I came out of it for a few seconds. I had the thought where I was just like, I feel like these have been coming at me, like hordes of these things have been coming at me for like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Where we so we try to do the tennis ball test today, but your session went in a different direction, which that's fine. But it was interesting.
Got it once.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you reached out and smacked it. But that wasn't like I'm almost wondering if there is something to do with the tennis ball and the things that you saw. Because at some point, I would kind of like hover it there, and sometimes I would kind of swirl it around.
Okay.
In a circular motion. At one point, I did a circular motion. You're like, oh, there's like a black cloud over here.
Oh.
So
that's
it may have
interesting.
manifested in a different
Yeah.
way. That kinetic energy I was creating could have manifested. So, but it wasn't just all dark, scary faces too. Like you also had like there was a giant, and there was like.
That was, yeah. I'd forgotten at this point until this moment. Yeah, but it had to have been a giant. But like my perspective was like, I could see like the shins and feet of like gigantic legs. Like either I shrunk down to something, or this person, like if I was my 6-foot self standing next to this person, they had to have been like a building.
Yeah.
And there's 2 giant legs, and they like were walking away from me at first, and then they would turn, and they came back a little bit later. I have no idea. Just like a titan comes down and you're just walking around. Actually, you know what? This is dumb, but Brown shoes, really nice brown dress shoes.
Really? So
Yes.
it wasn't just bare feet. It was
No,
nice
it had
brown shoes.
I couldn't really make out. It just seemed like it had like slacks and dress shoes on, but yeah, I actually now coming back like, you know what? Actually, now that I'm talking out, wing-tipped brown shoes.
Wingtip brown shoes.
Holy smokes!
and-
Why is that? Yeah, yeah, it was wingtip brown shoes. That why? Why? I mean, all right.
And the giant had, was it like pressed pants? They were.
You know,
Was there a crease in the pants?
honestly, maybe. Like now that you're saying that, I know we're joking around, but like trying to really put myself back there, it might have been like really nice creased pants. Yeah. Now I'm thinking about it, it was a very well dressed, gigantic thing, whatever it was.
Weird. Giant person. So along with the giant, there were some demons. There's a giant. There's a werewolf, and there was a couple that was kissing. It was man and a woman, or
Man and woman. Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't tell at first. It seemed like two faces, but as I kept going deeper into it, I could sort of start making out like their necks, and then next time they'd appear, I could see their shoulders and see a bit of their torso, and that's about as far down as I got.
could you see any clothing that they were wearing, or
It almost seemed, and kind of like scary stories to tell in the dark, where it was sort of just like figures drawn, but not like very meticulously drawn figures.
Oh,
It was
okay.
almost just like the shape, like if you were drawing like with a pencil a man and a woman, but without showing like, I don't know, like just particular body parts.
yeah, without like definition?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that was
Okay.
the word I was searching for. It was just sort of like I could tell. Oh, he's slightly taller than her, and I could see his neck, and I could see his shoulders, like the outline of a torso, but it wasn't like a body, if that makes sense.
Could you tell the ethnicity of these people?
No.
Okay, so it was just abstract.
Yes,
Okay.
it was. Yeah, it was drawn. The faces were very much person-like faces, but like the bodies were sort of just like outlines of bodies. Yeah, like I could make out that they were making out,
Right.
but the bodies were just kind of like pillars that the heads were on, interacting with each other.
Right. At some point, he said the woman who was kissing the man, like her head got bitten off.
Yeah. So now, yes, now I'm remembering again. So it would be from my vision, if I was sitting facing it, the man was on the left side, the woman is on the right side, and then one of the figures came at me. I can't remember which one. Sort of like distracted me from that imagery, and then once that dissipated, I looked back up, and the woman was on the left side, and this sort of giant, and I want to almost say like a evil clown face, sort of with a large head, sort of opened its mouth, and it seemed as if he was about to start biting the woman's head off.
Right.
But then, like, as he opened his mouth and it seemed like he was, like, raising up to do it, something else came in and blocked it off. Right, like, right before the moment of, like, attempting to bite down. Yeah. You know, that sort of thing.
They, you
Yeah,
know,
that sort of
the
thing.
huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Wow. Okay. So we got a giant. We got a werewolf. We got a bat.
Cannibal
weird
clown.
faces, Cannibal clowns. People making out. It is October 1st.
It's
so I
just,
didn't
it's
wanna
just
mark-
a Saturday for me.
It's just a Saturday for Kevin. So
Ignore this sound.
yeah. I'm gonna theorize for a second here. So
Please.
we did this in my bedroom, and in the hallway, I had the door open. In the hallway, there's this big mirror in the hallway. So mirror, in occult terms, mirrors are portals. So could have been something with that. That's theory number one. Theory number two is like, now I'm thinking it might be just like someone's watching a movie.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the neighbors, you were facing the window, so maybe one of the neighbors was watching a scary movie.
Just Night of the Living
So-
Dead, and just hordes coming at me, just horde after horde.
Which is probably what's happening.
I was tuning into channel 36 next door, and they were watching a scary movie.
Yeah, I mean, and there was like the other thing too. Was the weird part was I started saging, and then you said like something's getting really close to me, and I audibly out loud said, "Hey." And then you said, "Now it's turning," and I was like, "Hey, ooh."
I appreciate it. Like when I came out and I was talking about it, you'd said at a certain point, you're like, "Hey, man, back up," or like, "Yeah." You to some as I was describing something coming at me, and yeah, I get at that moment it must have turned away and sort of been like, "Oh, all right,
Yeah. I don't know if this is related.
please."
I don't know if it was just the wind, but when you were describing these dark things, something fell down on the dress over there. Like,
I couldn't hear a thing. So.
it was like a little piece of plastic, which made it extra scary for me because I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
So Kevin did not find the tennis ball, but he found scary
Found it once.
faces.
I'm taking my
Oh,
credit.
Yeah, that's true.
I found
you
it
did,
once.
Yeah, that's true. You did find it one time. You kind of
I smacked
into it.
I didn't even, and that didn't even take me out of it. I was just like,
Yeah.
it was that. What minute mark would you say that tennis ball smack was around?
It was early. It was like 4 or 5 minutes in.
Because that, now that I'm thinking about it, that almost was a reset button. Because it started with like sort of like the very basic sort of like, I see broken glass or whatever. Like I see like this thing open up. I see this eye. I just remembered the eye in the beginning.
Yeah, that's right. The eye was the first thing you saw.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's interesting because that is reoccurring imagery. That is something that John sees a lot.
Yeah.
He sees an eyeball opening up, and it gets more defined.
Yeah.
After a few seconds, and then
So at first it was like sort of this weird pulsating circle.
yeah.
And then it sort of like formed and sort of like an oval, and then it sort of like, it almost looked like and then there was like strings and wires coming off of it. But then it sort of like formed into like almost like a bloodshot eye where like the red was kind of coming from the center of the eye, sort of waving out. And then at a certain point, the eye sort of turned, so it was looking straight up in the air, and I was looking at the eye as it was looking up towards the sky. And I wish I'd described this, but I was just so fascinated at the moment. It almost looked like there was like a drop of water on the eye. Like I couldn't. It almost looked like if you took a screenshot the second, like you'd put
Visine.
Yeah, Visine on your eyes, and it sort of like still is sort of that ball of water before it spreads. And that was there for a long time, so I couldn't tell if it was like a tear or like an eye drop sort of going on an eye, but it was. And I want to say this, meticulous. I could describe it down to a T. It was a blue eye. It had dark eyebrow. It had very long eyelashes. I feel like it was a woman's face. I feel pretty confident about that. It was,
Really?
I could see this eye more clear than anything else I saw.
Could you describe the eyebrow? Was it thick or thin?
It was a thicker eyebrow.
Thicker. Okay. So, and it like there was something specifically feminine about the eye.
Yeah.
That you could tell it was like a woman's eye.
I could just from looking at it, I could tell it was a woman's eye.
Right.
And I could kind of make out, because I was looking at like the side of its face, and there was sort of like kind of longer hair. I couldn't like make out the full hair, but I could like taking a snapshot and you can kind of see hair coming down in the corner of the picture.
Okay. So it was just an eye at first, and then it evolved into having skin and having hair.
When it was looking at me, it was just an eye.
Right.
And then when the perspective sort of changed and started looking straight up to the sky, it became more of a face.
Okay. Was this like long hair?
Yeah, long dark hair. I'd feel very confident saying that.
Was this woman Caucasian or?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
I feel pretty confident saying that as well.
Maybe the Oracle of Delphi. I don't know.
Ooh, I don't get that reference, but yes.
She was an advisor, like a psychic advisor for the Greeks back in the Roman times.
That was her turning her head and saying, "You're about to see some shit."
Like, check this shit out. It gets weird, bro. That's interesting because back on episode 9, I want to say, episode 9, John was on, and he described the exact same thing.
Really?
It was a woman's eye.
Yeah.
He could tell it was it was an eye at first, and then it evolved, and he was seeing just the side of her face.
What you just motioned was exactly what I saw.
Yeah.
Looking
So
straight up, yeah.
you and John saw the same thing in my apartment. Holy shit!
Man.
Oh, that's so weird. Oh, it's got the goose pimple. Oh, shit. Oh man, yeah. I'll have to go back to episode 9 and listen. But yeah, that was specifically the same thing that John said. That's so weird. That's odd. Okay. I don't know if I want to get in the chair now. That's weird. Our second experiment was to do a voice prompt experiment where I listen to white noise and then have another microphone going through the mixer so that Kevin can walk me through some shit. So it's almost like a guided meditation type thing. Usually when we're listening to white noise, we can't hear anybody else.
Yeah.
So I have covered up the mirror in the hallway, so we're good.
I didn't even know. You know what? I hadn't noticed the mirror really, but I was like, has this like sheet or whatever you put over? I like walked out after the session. I was like, has that always been there? I didn't even realize you were just like, nope, I'm done with this.
No more. Nope.
Yeah.
No. No.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, any other notes from your sesh?
I wish I had been more vocal because
There's a lot of details going
it was
past,
yes, there was a ton of details, and there were a few moments where it was legitimately the most scared I've been in my life.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, fascinating, man.
Yeah.
Like listen, where else are you gonna experience that? Yeah, but I also knew, and unfortunately, I wanted to let go of this, but it was like the back of my mind where you're just like, you're doing the Ganzfeld.
Yeah.
Yeah, that still was there, and that kind of kept me harbored to the chair because the few times I really let myself go, I was just like, I'm either gonna have an anxiety attack or throw these fucking goggles through the window.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You ready?
Oh yeah, let's do it. Yeah, so that'll be part 2 of our episode. So I guess disclaimer, warning, kids, if you're doing this at home, just be careful and have the holy water and
You'll be
sage
fine.
on standby.
You'll be fine.
I don't think that these things can actually like reach through our dimension and attack us. I don't think it, so far it's only been like visuals. It's only been like, oh, I see this thing here hovering. So
Well, now that we've discussed it, like there were moments where I was completely dropped in, like the bat thing especially. Like that was coming towards me. I know now thinking back, I was lost in that.
right.
But as it reached me, it dissipated, and I feel confident saying that wasn't because my mind was going, I'm in the Ganzfeld, because that was one of the most discomforting things that's ever happened to me. And
So what did this thing? You said it was coming at you. Do you feel like it entered you, or did it like stop short and then dissipate?
yeah, it legitimately, I'd feel very confident saying it had the intention of coming at me. I don't know what it would have done when it got to me. I mean, I saw the clown about to bite a woman's head off. So who knows, man? But it legitimately, like if I was standing up, it was sort of like it would come directly at me, and then once it like would reach my chest, it sort of like faded. It literally felt like I was standing there, and it would get right up to me, and then sort of like wash away and sort of go off. Almost like something was trying to intimidate me versus attack me.
I think that makes sense. That because that has happened before with John. John has had the same thing happen where he's peering out into
My anxious bro?
yeah,
Is this an anxiety thing?
Anxiety bros.
The anxiety bros. There's something to that now. We have evidence to
Yeah.
there's something to being an anxious person and these
Yeah.
sort of things.
I think so and I think it goes back to them not wanting you to look at them. I think it has a lot to do with it. Like, it feels like we're spying on people, and they don't like that, so they're gonna get in your face, and they're gonna try to scare you away.
Well, I'm toying with the thought that, like, I have a theory on the people kissing, but I don't want that theory recorded.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'll tell you off mic.
No, no problem with that. Yeah, that's fine.
And I feel like either I'm like reaching a breakthrough in my life,
Okay.
and these
all right.
demons are sort of just like, no breakthrough for you.
They're trying to stop you from the breakthrough.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was kind of, and I even had that sort of feeling while I was in there,
That's a new.
where I kind of had an idea of what was going. I don't feel comfortable saying it on mic, so my
No, yeah, that's
apologies
fine.
to the listeners, but I have an idea of what it is, and I have an idea that, like, these sort of demonic things that were coming at me were fighting me or going against me.
Right. I think that is sort of like an ayahuasca ceremony.
Shout out Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. What's up, AA Ron?
Come on the pod.
Yeah, come hang
This is
out.
right
with
up your
us.
alley.
Yeah. I think that it might be similar. I could be wrong, but my guess is similar to that, where it's like when you do the ayahuasca, you interact with these like personal, dark entities, and they come at you. You really have to face a lot of things.
Yeah.
When you do like this intense ayahuasca ceremony, so that might have something to do with it. It might be similar to that. So.
Guess we got to smoke some DMT now.
Crash course,
Yeah.
fucking meditation therapy. Yeah.
Just kidding. I don't do drugs.
No, we don't.
Yeah,
we don't-
no,
we don't
everyone
do
who's
drugs.
listening. Well, no, I actually don't. Like, I realized I said that.
Yeah.
And now everyone who's listening is going like, all right, I actually don't. Not like these ne'er-do-wells.
No, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, yeah, Kevin definitely doesn't. But me and John do for sure. I'll say that.
I'm covering
I'll be
my
honest.
ass. I was just like, how do I cover my ass?
Yeah.
Tossing them under the bus.
Just. Yeah. Disclaimer. Yeah, Kevin doesn't do that, but John and I definitely do. We take psychedelics to enhance our Ganzfeld
Yeah,
experience,
all
which
I
is
say is don't drink Coors before going to Ganzfeld. Apparently, if you have
Something
like
like-
2 Coors Lights and go on the Ganzfeld, you're gonna have a horrible time.
it's like eating ham before bed.
Yeah, drink better beer before you go on the Ganzfeld. That would be my one recommendation.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna take a break now. We're gonna set back up again for my session. All right, here we go. Break
Bye
time.
bye. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Experiment number 2 that we did. It's always weird coming out of it because you have to like readjust back to, the real world.
Well, especially you being someone who like seems to see the real world already when you're in there.
This one was different. It wasn't like this like abstract. Hold on, my card.
My card.
This wasn't like abstract and weird stuff. It was definitely like having someone guide me was a lot
Yeah.
easier.
Oh, was it easier for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's helpful because sometimes I'm like, I can kind of struggle to get out there, and then I go to these like weird unstructured places, and like having someone say, "Okay, tell me more, go over here," that was
That actually opened stuff up or helped you see things.
yeah, it helped me focus.
Nice.
Helped me focus my attention. So to recap, what we just did was I had Kevin talking into the microphone. It was hooked up to the mixer, which was hooked up to the AM/FM radio, generating white noise. So I'm in the Ganzfeld, and he can actually talk to me, and I can actually hear what he's saying. So
he
got
heard
me.
he heard white noise through his headphones and also white noise through my voice.
Yep.
Just a bunch of white noise I'm making into that microphone.
Kevin White.
Kevin White.
It was weird. I cannot confirm this, but I feel like I would hear your voice, and then I would hear like another Kevin, like way in the background.
Oh god.
You know, I couldn't tell. It was like a doppelganger.
Last thing we need is two.
Kevin from the other universe.
Yeah. Just stay over there, buddy. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you want to? Because I tried to take notes pretty well on top of keeping track of time. So do you want to just start from the top and kind of work our way down?
Yeah, let's start from the top.
So we had our flashing lights changing spots. Sort of started on your left side, went across, went to center.
Yeah, it was kind of always like up top.
Yeah, above your head.
Well, just in my field of view, like here, and then flash over here, and then left, and then right, and then center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they going back and forth, or was it just like it started left, went right, then went center, or were they kind of transferring back and forth?
They seem to be individual lights that would kind of turn on and off at different times. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, and then naturally from that, every time I see 3 different flashing lights, I go to a bayou.
A bayou.
Yeah, you went to a bayou.
Oh, I did.
You
I
went
did
to
go
a bayou.
Yeah.
I mean, that's everyone. Every time I see 3 flashing lights, I'm
sure,
like, it's
yeah.
time to go to a bayou.
It's time to go to a bayou. Yeah, there was a swampy kind of bayou-y area. It was a tree. Yeah. Almost like a weeping willow kind of thing.
Which was interesting because the kind of boat came back a little bit later, which I was curious if those were
Yeah,
related to each other.
The rowboat. The rowboat. Yeah. I don't know if that was related or not. I mean, maybe. I mean, because the bayou swampy area was next to a river.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I saw the front half of the rowboat. It looked like it had faded numbers, but could be me just imagining that.
There was a lot of unclear information in that one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I don't even remember this note. Moving in transit. I assume looking back, you were stuck in traffic. I'm not even sure.
Oh, I was myself moving.
Oh, okay.
I was in transit, so meaning I couldn't really tell what form of transit, but
Yeah.
I was just moving.
Yeah.
So
And now I'm thinking back to all these things I should have been saying as you're going through. Were you still in the bayou? Were you?
not at the time. I couldn't tell if I was in the bayou
No.
or not. It was just I was just moving.
And then came, as we just said, the visual information hard to describe. As if like information was flashing to you, but you couldn't quite make it out.
Yeah, there was these zip files, like these bits of information that would come in, and I can tell it's like in the center of my vision, and I can tell that there's a lot there, but I just couldn't decode it. But I couldn't decode it. You know, it was just a packet of information, and I couldn't really figure out what it was.
Yeah. It was almost like last time where you got to like the hub of knowledge
Yeah.
when we went. They're
Yeah.
still trying to show you, even though you went somewhere else, they're still trying to show you. Can't quite make it out yet.
Yeah,
was it like
the
another
pyramid.
language, or was it just too quick?
It was too quick.
Yeah.
It was lightning fast, and again, it was something like appeared in your vision, and it was like a cluster of things, and there was also details attached to it. That it was instantaneous, and I just couldn't break down what it was.
Was it like a document sort of appearing, or was it just sort of in space, all of this thing?
In space, all of it.
Yeah.
So
Just sort of arriving.
yeah, like a little, like an information bubble just popped in, and
Bloop. Here's the secrets of the universe. Bye.
just bloop. Yep. Yeah, keep up.
And then the pillars came.
Yeah.
We're like 4 notes away from my favorite thing, and I can't wait, but I'm going to save it. So, yeah, blue pillars came up.
Mm-hmm.
Kinda.
Bluish, vertical going up and down pillars. They seem to have like these rectangular tiles on them.
A lot of tiles.
Yeah, tiles.
A lot of tiles.
Squarish tiles. Yeah.
But then here comes the aforementioned boat
Yeah, there was the boat, the rowboat.
with sort of grass stretching along, and then a house further away.
Yep, house further away, like in the background, white house. And the boat had this like, you know how metal has that hybrid-y look to it.
Sure.
Where it's like, it's like all these different metals mixed in. That's what it looked like.
And you said there was something written on the boat? I wasn't quite able to catch it.
Like numbers, like sticker numbers that had faded away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the home further away.
Mm-hmm.
And then you started seeing vegetables, I think. What was it?
Yeah. It had the shape of a mushroom or broccoli. So it would have had a stem, and then it kind of like went out and but I couldn't tell if it was like a cloud or broccoli or a mushroom or something like that.
I think it was mushroom broccoli because a chopstick came out
Chopstick
shortly
came after,
afterwards.
yeah.
I was just like, is he hungry? Is this just what it is? Is he planning his dinner?
It was like Kevin's looking at a food court or something.
Yeah, I was just reading a Chinese menu and I'm just like, oh my God, how did he pick that?
Yeah.
All right, and now you just laughed to yourself and said you were thinking about a Christopher Walken music video.
Yeah, that popped in my head for a second. That one with where he's like dancing around, and then he flies. Yeah.
I was hoping we'd stay there for a while. I was hoping you'd just watch Christopher Walken dancing for the next 15 minutes and I get to hear about it.
Yeah.
And all through, like, we'll get to a more stagnant place, but I was trying to think of a through line, but I really can't process like a theory or a through line of all of these things. It sort of seems like vignettes that sort of came and went as you were going through there.
Yeah. Yeah. At some point it felt like it felt like a hotel, and then it felt like a museum, and then because there was like the owl behind glass, and the suit and stuff. So it changed form a couple of times.
Yeah.
So
And the one of the things I found fascinating sort of early on, like right after the wheelchair, sort of like you looked up and you saw the sun and you also felt sunshine.
yeah, more felt it than saw it, and it was like the warm sunshine coming down. But I also looked at the ceiling and saw that it was a frosted glass window ceiling.
Well, it was fascinating to me, just sort of like we're speaking on just the general Ganzfeld thing, where it's like I've had a ton of visual stuff and a little bit of auditory stuff, but I've never had like a feeling sensation in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, where like you felt sunshine in there. That I was sort of sitting there just like, oh my God. What
And
the hell? You're just saying-
if I looked up, I would get the sense of that. But it's not like I didn't feel the warmth of sunshine. It was more like the idea in my head of feeling the warmth of sunshine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was washing over you, but you weren't necessarily feeling it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And then you asked about the picture,
Right.
and so I was looking at just a generic white outline of a basketball court. So it was a white picture, but the black outline of a basketball court, actually, be a better way. And so you immediately say white, and you say white tiles, which some basketball courts are tiled, and you saw a pillar. And so my next note was, holy shit, he sees the hoop. I was just like, yeah, you just described like, all right, I see white, I see tiles, and I see and I asked you what you saw at the ends, and you said, I see pillars. And I was like, is he seeing basketball hoops right now? Because then you said you saw tiles, but you saw them at the end of the hoop, or at the end of the pole.
Right.
And so I sort of thought, like, is he seeing the backboard?
Maybe. Could be.
I don't want to put the kind of red yarn from picture to picture before I put the pictures down, if that makes sense. But
yeah,
like,
no,
it was sort of like you started for at least like a minute there. There was tons of things related to what I had actually pulled up on my phone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So making a note here. So in traditional like remote viewing, control remote viewing, there's something called AOL, which is it's
Instant Messenger.
yeah. It's called analytical overlay. Okay. So when there is like a piece of information that comes into your perception, and then it's like it's round and it's this and it's that, and you're like, oh, it's a car tire when it could be something else. It could be a basketball hoop.
We'll get
but I
there.
don't think yeah.
We'll get to it. We'll get to the car tire. Don't worry.
Yeah, but it's like that's it could be like there's a piece of information that comes in and you don't know how to describe it, so your brain picks like the closest approximation and tries to guess, which is like can be inaccurate at times, but it's like how you're describing it, if that makes sense. So
yeah, there was the moment of like he's kind of describing the image I'm seeing. Like there was a ton of white, basketball floors are tiled.
Yeah.
And then you start talking about like seeing lines along the floor, designs, which the image I had a ton of just very distinct lines kind of shaping the ground. But then it kind of turned into a rug.
Yeah.
Or it became a rug. Yeah.
I can't remember what you said. You said something, and then as soon as you said that, that's when I got like an image of a rug. So something on the floor with like these wavy lines.
Yeah.
That were tan and burgundy and red. So it was almost like I was looking at a rug or carpet or something. But that specifically when you said what's on the floor or something like that, there was some kind of prompt you gave me, and then it immediately popped in my head. I was like, oh, there's some kind of design on the floor. Yeah.
And then the man in the suit.
Yeah. Man, he had, it's like he was sitting in a chair, and he kind of like, if he was like, his, in profile towards me, he kind of like turned and leaned over his chair and looked at me and just kind of chuckled. He was like, so he was amused at what I was doing.
Welcome, bud. Glad you're here.
And he had like, it was darker brunette hair that was like thinning on top. And he had a brown suit coat on.
That was the fascinating thing of trying this out, because at past times we've done this, you would have said, I see a man, he turned towards me and chuckled, and I would have sat there and been like, what the hell was that? But I had the opportunity to go, what is he wearing? What does he look like? And once I asked you that, you were like, oh, he's wearing a jacket and he has thinning hair. And it's sort of like you being prompted. I could, even though you were wearing like the goggles and everything over your head, I kind of see you have the realization of like, oh, well, he's like a kind of brownish tan suit jacket and he has thinning hair and it kind of became clear when you were prompted.
Yeah, that's what I like. I wanted to do this experiment. That's what's interesting to me is that you can get someone to pull more detail out if you kind of push them towards that. Like, oh, what does this look like? And you start asking questions to the viewer, and they'll be like, oh, I see, it's this,
Yeah, and then we came to what may be a hotel lobby.
Yeah,
what may be a ballroom.
Yeah, it was like marble on the floor, and there was like people around, and they were kind of chit-chatting, and people were smoking, so I was like, this is definitely not modern. This is like 1950s.
I was getting like Great Gatsby party imagery in my head, at least. I was getting like,
yeah, there's like a pool nearby, but then the pool turned into like a waterfall. So,
and that's why I said after you finished off mic, it's like I hate how vivid your stuff is, because you were just talking about how you could make out the murmur of conversation of people.
Yeah,
and I asked you like, what are they saying? And I was like, oh, they're just all talking. I can't really make out what they're saying, and that's sort of like being in sort of like a environment of people talking where you can just tell everyone's talking, but you can't pick up what they're hearing.
Yeah,
it seemed so realistic to me.
Yeah.
And then you saw BA something, Bacchae.
Yeah, there was like a word that came to me, not visually or audibly, just kind of popped in my head, and it was like bocce, it's BACC something.
BACCI?
Could be, yeah.
Also known as Dionysus, the god of partying. I love that I knew that, because it kind of made sense that you were at an event, because Bacchae is another name for Dionysus, who's kind of the god of merriment and partying.
Oh, Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it just worked out that I was the one observing who was weirdly enough had that to pull out because there's really no BA something, and then you start going BACC something, and I was like, oh snap! This is the useless information I have is finally coming to fruition. Yeah. So, and that was another point where it was just like you were in a room. There was people murmuring about. There was stuff on the walls, and I was like, "Oh, is he just at like an elegant party from a long time ago, potentially?"
Could have been. Yeah.
But then a tire, or a circular object. Then you kind of said tire with a question mark at the end.
Yeah. It could have been a tire. It was like. So what I was imagining was this car tire with this old school like chrome hubcap in the middle. So, if I were to guess, it would be like I'm looking in at something that's the scene from like the 50s or something like that, where the car was outside and
were you at
there
a
was
sock
glass
hop?
door. A sock hop?
Were you at
What
a
is
sock
that?
hop like a 50s dance party? Just like a
I don't know. Maybe.
yeah, there was like a chrome center of a tire. You kind of were like. Once I asked you about it, you started describing like the hubcap itself and stuff like that. It became much more specific, which was fascinating throughout. As I would ask you, like, but what does it look like, or what is it shaped, or what is its size? And you would kind of describe it vaguely. I'd ask you, and then all of a sudden you'd have this clear imagery of like, oh, it has this chrome shape in the middle, and it's this sized.
Yeah, and that's what I was hoping for this experiment is that like, somebody could like pull more information out by, asking questions.
Yeah. And then you kind of came back to the hotel lobby or wherever space you were in, and you just said very confidently, oh, there's different levels to this. I was like,
It seemed that way, yeah.
yeah. Is there a way to go upstairs? And you're like, no, but there's a glass ceiling. And before me even asking you to describe the glass, or I think I asked you, can you see anyone through it? And you go, no, it's frosted. Just. And that was another moment where I was like, "Oh snap!"
I was very sure of that. I was like, no, it's frosted.
Yeah, you was like, "There's a glass ceiling," and I was like, "Oh, can you see anything through it?" It's frosted. Like
frosted.
casual, like if we were on the phone and you were at a party, and I was like, "There's a glass ceiling. Can you see them?" No, frosted, dude.
It's frosted. I can't see through.
Yeah, it was like I was asking you about a party you went to. But I was staring at a guy in a chair with goggles over his eyes. And then, like, you start... I don't know if this was, like, something you picked up from the murmur, or it was just some weird thing that popped in, but there was, like, a car advertisement.
Yeah. There was it was either someone was speaking to someone else, or there was this, like, recording or something like that. So it came in pieces, and it was talking about like cars and like automotive and car parts and stuff, and it was like on sale now. There was like this call to action immediacy to it,
Yeah.
like come and get it and that kind of thing. So it was like someone either trying to sell somebody something, person to person, or it was like some kind of advertisement over a loudspeaker.
And
like that.
Another moment where I think like this experiment, to call it, was kind of a success. I was like, can you see who's talking about it? And like, no, they're over here, over my shoulder, or the noise is from over here. And you didn't say it in a way as in like, I'm not sure. You said it was like, oh, it's in the room. I'm just not looking at it right now. Like it seemed like you were saying it as like, oh no, this is here, but I'm just.
Yeah.
It seemed like you were still ever present when I still asked you that question. Like you're like, oh no, I'm in this room and I hear it, but I'm not looking at it right now. Let's see. From there, yeah, and then as I was asking you about the room, you started saying there's plants and there was a waterfall in the room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the weirdest thing I asked you is like, can you go towards it, or what do you see around it? And you're like, oh, there's just glossy tile around the pool. And I was just like, this motherfucker's actually seeing this.
Yeah, it would come down from like a higher, like an elevated area, and then it would fall down and splash into like a pool, and then surrounding the pool was small like 2-inch rectangular tiles, that kind of lined it, and they were like tannish, and they lined this little pool area. So I was like, "Is this a mall?" It's like, I don't know, like
I
what's
hate that
happening.
if someone just opened this episode and scrolled to this point, it would sound like you're describing a thing that actually happened to you.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is
yeah,
so sick. It is so sick, but I'm also just like that is insane to me.
yeah,
And then yeah, you saw the bird, and then I asked you, is it a bird or is it a picture? And you said I think it's taxidermied,
yeah.
and then it's sort of within a glass casing or like within a display case.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't alive. It was inert. It was either taxidermied or a painting or something.
Yeah.
You know. So
But it was meant to be observed.
yeah.
And you were able to observe it.
Yeah. Yeah. That was its purpose.
What the fuck?
I don't know. Yeah, things were a lot more vivid with this session too, and I think it was because of the guidedness of it. But again, I'm like the whole time I'm thinking like I'm skeptical.
I'm skeptic able.
I'm skeptical.
Skeptical.
I'm skeptical of all of this information because it's so detailed. It's so vivid. Like I think I'm just imagining all this. You know.
Yeah, that's right. But honestly, there were moments like I would ask you, would prompt something like, "What else is on the wall?" And you'd just be like, you would sit there for a second, kind of like subtly turn your head lightly, and be like, "Oh, there's some object here. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's also in a glass case." And that to me speaks to like that seems tangible.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it, even though it obviously is not tangible from what we're doing, but like it seems like you were actually in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there was something on the wall. It was bumpy and not flat.
Yeah, it wasn't just a plain wall. There was something on the wall, and it was kind of like a large frame that was kind of had these curves to it, like repeating curves in a rectangular fashion, and there was something protruding from the wall. Is how I would put it now. Yeah.
Yeah, and then again, you saw a diver's helmet.
Yeah, like old school diver's helmet, that bronzish look.
Also, you said again, like meant to be looked at. Like all of these were encased and meant to be observed, which, at least from my idea, means it could potentially be from your imagination or you creating something, but it's sort of it felt discovered rather than created.
Yeah.
As you were describing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I now to wrap this all up in a nicely tied bow for my metaphor of what it was, I'll say no fucking clue. you, I think my theory is you went to a party. I think
Yeah.
you were,
Yeah.
yeah. I'd wish I could drop some more knowledge or anything more clever than that, but I was just like, this just sounds like a Great Gatsby style party.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like maybe some like millionaire's house or something. Yeah. What was the image? Hold on.
Oh, the image that I had. Oh,
Yeah.
So I had pulled. So when you asked what the image is, I had pulled this up, and you immediately said white. You said tiled. You started talking about like squiggly lines. You started talking about pillars at the end, which would be on a basketball court. So it is just like a very generic sort of basketball court
Right.
image. Which that actually did. That was sort of startling to me because it wasn't incredibly specific in the sense where you were just like, I see a 3-point line and blah blah blah. But it was sort of like the general sort of like, you're like, what's the image? And I switched over from my notes to the picture, and you immediately said like, white tiles and a pillar. And I was just like, can he see my phone? Like,
Right.
yeah, it was weird. I just
Yeah.
like pull up a mostly white image, and the first word you said is, I see white. I was like, get the fuck out of here. It was creepy. Like I'm not doing it service right now talking, but it was like, it's like, do you see what's at either end? And you said pillars, and I was like, holy shit, he sees the hoops. Like it seemed, and sort of it built from there to something else, but like once I pulled up the image, it seemed like, at least for a second, without me saying anything to you, there was an influence of that image to what you were saying.
Right. So that this was just a diagram of a basketball court, like a drawing.
And you started saying certain things, and there would be certain like adjectives or words you would drop in where it would be like, that is pretty close to stuff that is on this image. It's the very basic image, and you were saying things that could be used to describe the image I had.
Yeah. Cool.
What the hell?
Yeah, and then I went into a different place and
then
decided to go somewhere else.
And you're like, I don't like basketball. I'm going to this party.
Yeah. Which is odd because it's like earlier with the tennis ball, it's like, okay, we're gonna try to do this experiment with the tennis ball, but you went to a completely different place. It got all
Good golly.
weird.
I don't ever go back. I'll come back here, but I don't ever go
You
back
don't wanna
there.
go back
I don't
to
want to
that
go
place.
back there. I'll
That's
come
the
back
bad place.
here.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there. Thank you again, Kevin, for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Check out Adventure Champs,
Please.
When you're done with listening to this podcast episode, go straight to Adventure Champs.
Do a double feature.
Yeah.
Listen
Yeah.
to this episode. Hear me have an anxiety attack. And then hear me, especially if you're starting it, hear me not know how to play D&D and then slowly over time learn how to play D&D.
Fun times. All right, that'll be it for episode 13. Ooh, spooky. Yeah, check me out on social media. Check out Adventure Champs. All right.
Oh, hey, are you doing anything next weekend? I don't know. Maybe we should remind them again? I don't know.
Next week. Yeah. What am I doing next week?
What are you doing next weekend?
Yeah, ghost hunting the 7th in Sheboygan, Wisconsin at the asylum. And on Saturday the 8th from noon to 6, I will be in Summit, Illinois at the Chicago Paranormal Convention. So, yeah, or conference, actually. So come check me out there if you're in the Illinois/Chicago-ish area and you want to see me in person. Maybe try out the Ganzfeld. Maybe you'll see some demons. Who knows?
No, don't. It'll be way sweeter than what I did. Don't use me as a measuring stick.
Yeah. So come check me out if you'd like. Also probably gonna do. If John accompanies me, then we'll definitely do an episode at the convention. So maybe we'll grab some people there. We're definitely I'm gonna do a session at the conference. So
Yeah, and if John comes, you can see the demon faces and creepy eye in person.
yeah, we'll show him demon stuff.
Yeah, we'll make
have
sure.
that time. Yeah.
We'll make sure. Let him have the worst time.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Later.